And when I start to think all the time how close it starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars they cut so deep I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? Say goodbye. Gave to me so long ago. Sleepless nights I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicide. Thoughts were you certain? An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? Say goodbye. Said that you moved on. Where did I go?
What's going on, guys? Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Coast to Coast Hoops. Another great Sunday to wrap up your college basketball week. A lot of great games yesterday. Finally, a full slate of games on Saturday to watch, bet on, live bet, second half plays, and those Scoj had a great day yesterday in those aspects. Today's show is, of course, brought to you by PickCity.com. Head over to PickCity.com to find the next bet. Every league, every game, they be covered at PickCity.com. I'm your host, Adam Danis from GoGame Sports and PickCity.com. Today we got a couple games for you. It's kind of a smaller slate in college basketball. We're going to go over a little review of yesterday and how we did personally. We'll start off with the Duke game right here first. Duke just absolutely slaughtered Syracuse right from the tip. Not really a contest for these Orange heading into Duke in probably one of their biggest games in conference play, and they absolutely shit the bed. Not much more to say. They got outplayed at all aspects, coaching. That zone for Syracuse is just not the play anymore. He has to adjust as a coach. He won't because he's ignorant, and they won't succeed until they change. Duke up by 30 at one point in the second half. Syracuse cuts it to 20, but still doesn't reach the spread. So they lose by 20 in Duke. Next game, Minnesota. Weird matchup today. Yesterday actually. They I think they had like 5 or 6 guys out. Two of their starters, two of their key guys were out, and they still somehow find a win and a cover in at home against Rutgers yesterday. Again, Rutgers just total fade right now on the road. A great letdown spot for them after beating Iowa. I had Minnesota winning that game all the way. And they end up closing it down late and with some free throws to cover the spread. Northeastern, disappointing performance yesterday at home. Hofstra played a great game. They put up the points. Northeastern did not, and they were nowhere near the total that we wanted to reach. So we lose in that total play, unfortunately. Um, Delaware, what a disappointing non-cover game yesterday. They ended up getting the win by I think 2. They're up 10 with 2 minutes to go, and they let their opponent get right back in the game and end up being a close game down the stretch. So the 8.5 doesn't hit, um, which is a pretty disappointing loss for us since we had them by 8.5 at home. Thought that'd be an easy win for them, but they end up not playing great basketball down the stretch and giving the cover to their team. West Virginia continues to struggle in the Big 12. They're now 1-5 against the spread against their Big 12 conference opponents. Texas Tech playing great basketball, great defensive basketball. Down the stretch, they played great. Went on a little run towards the end and ended up covering that game pretty easily with free throws. That whole game was like a 5-6 point game until the last, like, I'd say 2.5 minutes. And again, West Virginia showing that they can't close the games out. O'Neal misses a big free throw at the end, and it pushes it to an 8-point lead. And then Texas Tech comes down, gets 2 easy baskets, and then the game's a 10-point game. So not surprising for me. West Virginia just continues to show us that they can't complete games. Like I said, in yesterday's show, it'd be a close first half, and then Texas Tech would pull away late in the second half, and that's exactly what happened. Um, West Virginia just a terrible second half team. Other bad second half teams like Furman, and again West Virginia just so bad second half. I don't know what is up with them when they come out of the locker room, but just not the same in the first half. But yeah, we get the win here in Texas Tech, and look for another fade for West Virginia. West Virginia on the road next game. I'd say they're one of the biggest fades right now on the road, just because they can't close. So we get the win there. VMI and Chattanooga continue to put up points. VMI looking great on the offensive end yesterday. They hit the over pretty easily. So yeah, they continue to just ball out. Next game, Virginia against NC State yesterday. Kind of disappointing loss for Virginia. NC State was, I think, 1-9 against the spread coming into yesterday. Let's see, they're 2-9 against the spread at home, 1-8 against the spread as a favorite, and they end up getting the easy win yesterday at home. This is a disappointing loss for Virginia, just not playing great basketball on the stretch again. NC State gets a comfortable win yesterday at home. FSU Miami yesterday. What a weird game. Great game to watch second half. Miami just terrible shooting performance in the first half yesterday. They ended up coming down close in the second half, brought it down to 6, brought it down to 4, ended up losing that game by only 1 point with a chance to win the game at the end, but they can't get it done. Florida State's hot right now. They're playing great basketball. And they showed who they really are in the second half, though. They struggled on the offensive end. They struggled with intensity down the stretch. And look for the next game, maybe a fade for Florida State after coming off these 3 wins to maybe come back down to earth. And next game for Miami is a huge game for them conference-wise, and huge game for just momentum going into ACC tournament play. Today is a smaller slate of basketball. Not too much to pick from. You had some good games. Indiana, I like Providence Day, IPFW. So my first play today is gonna be Providence at home against Butler. Look at some numbers for Butler. Butler's 1-9 against the spread as an underdog. 1-2 against the spread as a underdog on the road. They're also 2-5 against the spread after a loss this year. They just got blown out by UConn by 20 in back-to-back games. They're also 2-5 against the spread in conference play. Probably one of the worst teams in the Big East. They're playing great competition, as we know. The Big East is probably the second best conference right now in college basketball. So they're playing great teams day in and day out right now. Providence, after that long COVID break, struggled a little bit against Georgetown, but ended up getting the win outright. Providence, coming off a win, is 9-4 against the spread. They also are 7-4 against the spread at home, 6-4 against the spread as a home favorite, and have covered in 4 of the last 6 games. I think this is a confidence boost game for Providence. I think this is a game that they need to win comfortably to look forward into playing those Villanova, Xavier's, UConn games, and really show the Big East that they're here for real. I think Providence, maybe this is a close game in the first half. Butler plays teams close in the first, and then Providence probably give them the schwack second half. I think it's a 12-point, 13-point victory for Providence here. I think it's an ugly game for both teams just because it's a Sunday afternoon at noontime. It's one of those games where the total is low at 127. Um, I see that going under just because the number is just so weird. But I think Providence gets an easy double-digit victory here today at home and pushes them into next week with some momentum. Another game here is IPFW. I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, what's IPFW?" That's Purdue Fort Wayne University. They're in the Horizon League. They're playing Youngstown State today. IPFW has covered in 8 of the last 10 games. They've covered 5 straight home games. They actually beat Youngstown State in Youngstown State's gym by double digits as an underdog last time they played head-to-head. IPFW is also 7-2 against the spread in conference matchups and 5-3 against the spread as a favorite. The line is sitting at 3.5 right now. I'd be surprised if it doesn't jump to 4.5 by tip-off this afternoon. Youngstown State sitting at 4-4 against the spread as an underdog. And have only covered in 3 of their last 8 games, including that debacle against IPFW in their home gym. IPFW coming off a blowout win against Robert Morris. I was on them as well in that game. That was on Friday. They have a lot of momentum coming in this game. Like I said, they've covered in 8 of the last 10 games. 5 straight home games they've covered in. They're playing great basketball in the Horizon League right now. I think they get the easy 7 to 10 point win here against a struggling Youngstown State team on the road. One last play for you guys today. I know it's kind of a short show, but not much to go over today. A 5-team parlay we got today is Purdue, St. Louis, Arizona, Cleveland State, and Oregon, all to win today. I think they get the pretty easy win. All those teams get an easy win today in the conference matchups. And I think that's pretty good value for all those teams. I mean, Purdue's playing Northwestern, St. Louis in the rematch against UMass at home. St. Louis is a totally different team at home this year in the A10. And Arizona's playing Cal, who's in the Pac-12, just not playing great basketball in conference play. Arizona looks to get an easy win today on the road against California. Cleveland State, they're playing Robert Morris, who's, in my opinion, one of the worst teams I've ever seen play college basketball this year. They're 12-point favorites today. Should get an easy win. And then Oregon plays Washington, I believe, in their home gym. And Oregon should get the easy win, maybe even the easy cover today as well. They're playing great basketball, as Scoj pointed out yesterday. So, to recap, we got Providence by 9.5 today at home against Butler. IPFW by 3.5 today at home against Youngstown State. And we have a 5-team parlay sitting at minus 125 odds. Purdue, St. Louis, Arizona, Cleveland State, and Oregon, all to win outright. All right, guys, please bet responsibly today. Have a great Sunday. Kick some ass in NFL today. I'll catch you guys back next week. Thanks, guys.
But now you're out of time, out of time, you're out of time, you're out of time, and now you're out of time.